Do you have money coming in, but no idea where it's going? You get paid, take care of a few bills, and then poof, it's gone. Would you like to change that? My name is Lucas, and welcome. Now, I always had enough money to cover my bills, but never had any to put towards my goals. But once I created a payday routine, I went from zero savings to the best financial position of my life in less than 15 months. I call it the Big Split method, and today it's my gift to you. If you're tired of doing finances from a place of lack, survival, or frustration, join me. Most people know that a budget can improve their finances, but they don't do it. They have a hard time sticking to one. Have you ever thought about why? In my opinion, they're boring, tedious, and restrictive. The first thing they have you do is cut out unnecessary expenses. But in my experience, those are the expenses that make life fun. I want a financial plan that supports my lifestyle, not restricts it. And that's the beauty of a payday routine. The money comes in, I split it up, I pay myself first, and then I take care of my responsibilities. It's faster and easier than budgeting, it's flexible, and it works in the background of my life so I can focus on more important things. The first step to creating a payday routine is to get clear on your financial goals and your responsibilities. So, what are your goals? Do you want to grow your savings? Maybe pay off your debts, build some emergency funds, maybe invest in a new business, or maybe you want to travel multiple times a year. I invite you to sit down and brainstorm for a little bit. Write down every goal that comes to mind. Then do the same thing with your monthly responsibilities. From business expenses and taxes to living expenses, write it all down. If you're anything like me, you probably have a lot of goals and a ton of responsibilities. So the next step is to simplify. Take a look at everything and then group it all into a few main categories. For example, business expenses are a big part of my life, so that's one category. Taxes and money I owe to other people, that's another category. I have a lot of financial goals, so to keep things simple, I group them all into one category and I call that paying myself first. And when it comes to living expenses like car payments and mortgage payments and taking care of my health, I group all of that into one category that I call lifestyle. The idea with the payday routine is that when money comes in, you split it up and you send it to your goals and responsibilities. So if you have 60 different categories, that gets really overwhelming and confusing. But if you have 3 or 4, it becomes really easy. Once you've distilled everything down to a few main categories, the second step is to set up accounts that you can send money to. And there's a couple of ways to do this. When I was 17, my Uncle Owen introduced me to the envelope method. So the idea is that each time you get paid, you send a little bit of cash to each one of your envelopes, and each envelope represents a certain responsibility. So you could have one for your car payment, one for rent, one for groceries, so on and so forth. It worked really well, but I didn't have any self-control. I was only 17 at the time. I'd spend the cash before I could split it up, so I didn't stick with the method. Now, fast forward a couple of decades, and I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and I hated budgeting, so I had to figure something else out. And that's when I remembered my uncle's advice and decided to revisit the idea. I don't get paid in cash. When a check comes in, it gets deposited into my business checking account, so physical envelopes were not going to work. I needed something faster, easier, and more convenient. And that's when I decided to set up digital envelopes. Because I have 4 main areas, I now have 4 digital envelopes. The Pay Myself First account, the business account, the money I owe to others, and my living expenses. This makes my payday routine really simple. The money comes in, I split it up, and I send it to the 4 accounts. Easy. Now it's your turn. Whether you use envelopes in a drawer, jars on a counter, or digital envelopes, set everything up so that each time you receive money, you can send it to your main categories. It should be easy to do and require very little time because, let's be honest, if it's a pain in the ass to do, like budgeting, it's not going to get done. My routine takes me about 4 minutes each time I get paid. And just a quick side note, if you currently have more than 4 main financial categories, that means that you'll have to set up more bank accounts, and that's not fun to manage. So the simpler, the better. Go back to step one and look at your main categories. See what you can reduce and consolidate. The less you have, the easier and more effective your payday routine will be. The third step to creating a payday routine is to figure out how much money you'd like to send to each account. What do you need for your business, living expenses, and taxes? And most importantly, how much money do you want to put towards your financial goals? If you're not sure, start with what you do know. For example, what percentage do you put towards taxes? I know from previous years that I pay between 20 to 25%. And while most people recommend saving 10%, that was way too low for me. I didn't save a dime in my 20s and 30s, so I needed to make up for lost time. My goal was to pay myself somewhere between 20 to 40%. If you love numbers, you're more than welcome to calculate it out. But if you don't, ask yourself a couple of questions. What financial problems are currently causing you the most stress? Debt? Back taxes? Maybe give those a larger percentage until they're gone. Which areas could use more money and which areas have too much? If your current living expenses are out of control, lower the percentage. And if you're tired of eating ramen and peanut butter and jelly, increase the percentage. I had a recent client with $90,000 of debt, and while he would love to save, it's not his current priority. So he started off by putting 40% towards his debt, 40% to live on, 15% for his taxes, and 5% to pay himself first. Another client wanted to pay off her debt and grow her savings, so she put 30% to each of those, lived on 30%, and then put 10% towards taxes. And for the last 7 years, I've split my money into 4 quarters because that's what works best for me. The goal is to find what feels best and most realistic for you and your circumstances. So pick some percentages and then test those out for 3 to 6 months. If everything's working and it feels good, keep going. If not, so maybe you're feeling pressure or one of the areas doesn't have enough money, change your percentages. Once you've picked your percentages, you're ready to implement your payday routine. Every time you receive money, whether it's 50 cents or 50 million, split it up and send it to your goals and responsibilities. Think about the path that you've been on for the last few years or maybe even decades. Are you tired of giving your money to banks and insurance companies while your savings and financial goals remain empty? Spending money with no plan is the old way. It's playing defense, living in survival mode. So start playing offense. Create a simple payday routine that ensures that your goals and responsibilities get taken care of first. In the first month of splitting my money, I had a little bit extra. By month number 5, I paid off $25,000 worth of debt. And by the 12th month, I had a full year's worth of living expenses set aside. By month 15, I was in the best financial position of my life. And with each year that passes, my finances get better and better. This simple routine helped me so much that I began teaching my friends and family. And now the Big Split is my gift to you. Take the basic principles that I shared with you today and test them out. And if you'd like a more personalized approach, consider the Big Split Bootcamp. Over 1 week, it's just you, me, and your finances. We'll look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll simplify and streamline everything in your financial life. I'll teach you how to split your money. I'll show you how to implement the practices. And then, once that week is over, our relationship is just beginning. So over the course of the first year, life is going to throw you financial curveballs that can throw you off. So I will be there to help guide you through those financial surprises. So if you're interested, comment the Big Split and I'll send you an application. If we're a good fit, your first session is on me with no obligation to buy. As we wrap up, I invite you to do 3 things. First up, get clear on your financial goals and responsibilities and distill them down to 3 or 4 main categories. Second, set up accounts or envelopes for each category. Third, pick a percentage, split it up, and transfer the money to your goals and responsibilities immediately. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. It means the world to me. If you know anyone that can benefit from this video, please share it with them. And as always, thank you for your time and energy. I'll see you in the next one.